The clothes went dark, his hair went super long and covered his face. Grades went from good to awful.
A Great Depression hit me, and I started cutting myself.
I get chills as I think about it now, because I always want to hope for the best and see the best. But then there's certain signs that are just, you can't deny it anymore.
One day, my mom, she tried to drown me in her own bathtub. Her hand was on my head, so I tried to grab her hand and try to jerk away. And I was like, I feel like I'm gonna run.
My sister had to feed me all the time because my mom left the baby food in a bag on the floor. The DCF finally came. They found us with our parents gone, so they took us and gave us to our grandma, and then my grandma adopted us out without telling my mom.
Going before a judge wasn't scaring him, and nothing was doing it. If anything, it was giving him a reputation where he wanted to live up to that bad boy image.
I fought back all the time. I went in juvie, I fought back. I was like, nobody's gonna cross my line.
I got in the wrong crowd and got depressed. They introduced me to drugs.
I got heavy into drugs, started selling. I was breaking into houses, doing whatever.
There's a war going on in America, and it's called Fighting for America's Teens. And unless you and I do something significant, we're going to lose an entire generation. Hi, I'm Sarah Trollinger. House of Hope is a Christian residential home for hurting teenagers, boys and girls between the ages of 12 and 18. We offer professional counseling and an accredited educational program on a beautiful 10-acre campus in the center of Orlando, Florida. I invite you to peek into the shattered lives of hurting, neglected, abused teens who've been looking for love in all the wrong places. Listen to their cry and watch as they receive their healing.
I started drinking and I started doing things with guys. It became really depressing because my mom was never really there to find out what's happening.
My mom, I guess she started being afraid of me when I started being just like my dad. I started hitting my brothers and sisters, started choking my sister, tried to see if she could pass out.
I found I had a lot of anger problems. And most of it came because my dad wasn't there.
I became an alcoholic by the time I was 14. On the outside, I seemed happy, but on the inside, I knew what I was doing wasn't right.
I just knew that I was either going to lose my daughter or find some place for her. And by the grace of God, I found the House of Hope.
Our goal at House of Hope is to reconcile teens with their parents through counseling, education, love, and most importantly, prayer. Counseling and prayer ministry are an important part of the House of Hope program. Counselors are well equipped to successfully work with teens and families who are wounded emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. In group, they find out they are not alone. They're able to express their feelings, and they understand each other.
I guess when I came here, people actually did tell me I was going to do better. People told me there was hope for me.
I'm a lot better with my mom. I'm talking to my dad again, and it's better.
I finally started working on myself, trying to start forgiving myself for the things I've done to people. I'm trying to forgive other people for what they've done to me.
Since I've come to House of Hope, I've been delivered from, the fear and the harm and the sex and the drugs and, wonder if I'm pregnant and, if I'm gonna overdose or if I'm gonna die. It's freed me from all the fear.
Hope Academy, our on-campus school, offers a full schedule of English, math, social studies, and physical education in a fully accredited, accelerated Christian education program. Because they are so focused, many have achieved as much as a year in only 6 months.
My grades were horrible, but now that I'm here, I'm doing so good in school.
This place gave me a second chance of becoming somebody and having an education. I have straight A's and B's here, and back home I didn't even have grades.
I've caught up. I'm halfway through 11th grade now. So when I go back, I'll be in my senior year with my friends.
We have a complete recreational program which includes basketball, volleyball, soccer, aerobics, weightlifting. It's a great program that incorporates teamwork and teaches social skills that encourage positive relationships. In each house, we have morning devotions and individual quiet times when they can journal and listen to the Lord.
My favorite verse talks about how meditating on God's Word will help you not sin against Him.
I live within the shadow of the Almighty, sheltered by the God who is above all gods.
No temptation that sees you except what's coming to man. God is faithful. He not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear.
Only God can save me, so I'll calmly wait for Him.
This I declare that He alone is my refuge, my place of safety.
They're falling in love with God, who, until recently, many of them had denied. Here in chapel, a lesson is given by one of the boys. He looks into the eyes of his fellow residents, knowing that they can relate. Now he has found joy in living honestly. Now his faith has grown.
This God thing's serious. You know, this is no joke. I always thought it was a fake. And when I finally caught a glimpse of God, He showed me who He was, and He showed me something that I'll never forget. I'm making progress, you know, I'm getting healed, you know, I'm getting delivered from some things.
The teens take turns working in the lunchroom. This is a great hands-on experience and helps them to learn to cook and prepare food. Zenobia has been with us as our chief cook for 14 years. She started shortly after her granddaughter graduated from the House of Hope program. The staff work closely with the teens, and they use on-the-job training to teach them responsibility. And the teens take pride in their work. The teens are required to do their daily tasks, each having designated chores. At night, we have prayer time. And yes, we do tuck them in. The streets and institutions don't tuck them in at night, but we do at House of Hope. For 2 hours every Tuesday night, the chapel is filled with counselors from House of Hope and the parents of the residents. Parenting night is all about family. These sessions include worship, testimonies, teaching, and small group discussions led by a counselor. The real energy of the evening is when parents share helpful support with each other.
Their counseling program here, all the parents are involved. You can't just drop your child off and let them deal with the issues.
I thought it would be all about him. It's not all about him. It's about our whole family.
At first, I kind of thought, well, Anthony's going to get the help he needs, but it's not all about that, because as a parent, I also learned how to deal with Anthony.
I've gone to church my whole life, but I didn't really care about God until I got here.
I became saved, and then I became a born-again virgin. You have forgiveness for all your sins.
I guess my new purpose is God now. I see more, and before I was here, I always knew I wanted to do better. I always knew about God, but I always kind of put Him out there outside the window, just looking in. And now that I got Him in my life, I think I'm going to do better with Him.
House of Hope is a great place for me. It turned my life around.
This place has changed my life, and I know that when I leave here, I'll be a stronger person. You know, obviously God has a plan for me. If He spared my life all those nights that I was drinking and driving, and you know, I never OD'd, I never got alcohol poisoning, and I never got a STD.
She just had a birthday 2 days ago, and the card that I wrote her, I hope that your 17th year is a year of great joy. House of Hope is exactly that, hope. And before we got here, we didn't have any.
The House of Hope is there to help families like our family, with kids like our kids.
House of Hope is a lifesaver because it was there for me when I didn't know what else to do.
House of Hope is truly a place of miracles, a place filled with God's love, a place of hope, a place that's totally dependent on caring people like you to help save this generation.